Alright, Dave Burdett here, talking about how to actually program our physics problem. So the first thing we want to do is come up to, we have David Workspace up here. So you just want to open up Eclipse, and right now it's loading. It asks you for your workspace, and mine's currently correct, desktop David Workspace. So right now Eclipse is loading. And here's Eclipse. This is my latest tutorial. So if you come in, there might be some kids code there from the last quiz. Basically, you could copy it, but you probably know more if you actually watch these videos. So we're just going to call this physics problems. And great. So now inside of here, we're going to create a new package, and the package, we don't want it to be in SRC, we want it to be in the physics one. So if that's current, we want it to be in the physics SRC. So you might want to check that. And then we just want to name it, well, this was just a simple force distance. Force distance. And we'll just create a new class called, and again, we want this to be in physics problems, and the package will be force distance. I don't know why it's being weird on me. Anyways, and for the name, we'll just call it main class. Great. And you want this public static void main checked. The one that's being checked and unchecked right now. I'm not sure if my cursor is being shown, which I meant to change in the last video. Anyways, so all your code basically goes between this and this function, because this function is what's called when you enter your program, as we talked about in algorithms and in Hello World. So in here, we'll switch over to the tablet and look at our problem. So here's our problem, and the first thing we need to do is we need to ask the user, hey, what's f? So a great way to start asking the user something, switch over again, just getting used to this program. So a great way to ask the user to do something is to create a, you want to do j option pane dot, and then there's all these different things, and we're just going to do show input dialog, and we're just going to put null in here, and in here we're just going to put please enter the force in newtons. And basically this program, this line of code, when you're doing it for the quiz, you can just always put null in this first comma, and then the second comma is your message. So remember that, put it on a flashcard. McD will probably let you use the flashcard. He doesn't care that much. So just put null in the first one, and then the question you want to ask in your second one. Put an exclamation point in that. And then this line of code at the front of it, you just want to put, we'll just actually make this a double. And basically double just means you want a decimal. So double, let's do string actually. String answer equals j option pane. And then we're just going to take our answer and we're going to put it in a double variable. So double force equals double dot parse double. And basically your answer was in a string, so that's either like a word such as David or happy or sad or please enter the force in newtons. And basically what we need to do is convert that string into a decimal number. So that's what this function does. So we just put our answer in there. And this will take care of all that conversion. So now we can just J option pane dot and then show, and then we want to do dot, and then we want to scroll down, and there's a bunch of different ones. So we'll just do show message dialog. And in the show message dialog, we're just going to put null again. So another time for another flashcard, I would say. And in all honesty, you could put this entire program on a flashcard, and he wouldn't even. I'm sure he wouldn't even care, just because you looked up the video. So right here, we'll just put your force was plus force. So when this program runs, this dialog box should pop up. It just popped up on my middle screen. And please enter the force in newtons. So I'll put 12.3. And this next message dialog box pops up, and this is going to get annoying soon. Your force was 12.3. Great. So what happens if, remember that it accepts a string. So when it gets to this line of code, and it tries to convert like a number s into, when it tries to convert the number, where is this? When it tries to convert the number s into a decimal number, it'll crash. And you'll get this ugly red code down here saying you had a problem in your code. And there's no way to prevent against that currently. I could talk a lot about it, but we'll just ignore it for now. You don't need it for the test. So the next thing we're going to do is, now that we have force, we'll go back to our little thing, and force checkmark green light. I need a different green. Force checkmark, perfect. So now we need to ask for mass. So then we can check that one off. So that's what we'll do right now. We'll ask for mass. So these two lines control force and mass. So we'll just copy, or it controls like asking for something. So we'll just change this to mass answer. Change this to mass answer. This will change from force to mass. Keep it capital though. And that's about it. We just need to change this. Enter the mass in kilograms. Great. So the next thing we want to do is ask for T now. So we've asked for force. We've asked for force. Now we're asking for time. We've already asked for math. So if we just mosey on back to the code, there we go. If we mosey on back to the code, we just need to add another question for time, and double time answer. And if you aren't, if you kind of got lost, just I'll just put some little spaces in here, and that'll kind of like separate. And this is called a comment. Hey, this comment right here is not read by the program. So this is for humans to like make little messages to other humans. So basically, this part is asking for force, and I can just copy comment asking for mass, and another comment asking for time. So in this time one, we need this to change to time answer. And please enter the time in seconds. All right, so now we just need to create the equation. So on the left side of the equation, we're going to have double and then delta x. And we're going to set it equal to, here's where it gets kind of tricky, force multiplied by time, multiplied by time again because it's squared. If you try and use this as an exponent, it's not going to work just because Java's annoying. Other programming languages, it does work as an exponent. In Java, it does not. So you're just going to have time divided by 2 mass. Multiplied by mass. Perfect. So now we just see this code that says your force was. Well, we don't really need to know force up here, so we'll just copy or cut, paste, and we're just going to change this from force to delta x was plus delta x. So save, run. Please enter the force in newtons. So if we have, let's say we have 5 newtons, and the mass is going to be 5. So that means our acceleration would be 1 newton per second, or 1 meter per second squared. And then the time, I can't really come up with a good one, so we'll just do like 10, which will end up being 100 times acceleration times 1/2, so it should end up being 50. And bingo, 50. Perfect. So we have this working program. I'll just kind of scroll slowly so you can look at the entire program. And that's about it. So, sweet. We fit it in like one little window, which is just perfect. And actually, I'll just put a little comment here. Calculate and display delta x. Another cool thing about Eclipse is when you click on a variable and you're like, what is answer used for? It'll show you. It'll just highlight it in gray. So if I do mass answer, it'll show it. Time answer, delta x, perfect. All right. Hope you learned something, and good luck.